Tito's Tuesday.
Tito's Tuesday. Tito's Tuesday.
This
Woo!
podcast is sponsored by Tito's, America's number
Tito's.
one vodka, John. Tito's handmade vodka. What a product.
This is what Darlington just wrote. I'm told Brian Flores addressed his team regarding the reports of the Miami trade for Deshaun Watson. Sources say he told players and staff that Tagovailoa is, quote unquote, our quarterback. So it's like there's just this situation. There are 3 or 4 situations with a couple rookies. I'd say Mac and Trey definitely fall under. And then Miami that it feels like it's boom or bust. The guy's 23. Is it just things happening at quicker paces than ever before? Like, that's fucking nuts. I'm not the biggest Tua guy, but it does feel like if he's bad this year, like his career would be over with him. They just don't have the time. Like they won't mess around. Who was I reading? It was Breer, I think, within the last couple weeks. I had to leave Safari and go to Chrome because I don't know if you've noticed Sports Illustrated, they mandate you pay if you use their website too many times. They don't give you an unlimited amount of clicks. So the way someone told me through DMs, the way you circumvent that is you just open another browser. Is Breer wrote that he talked to it was either an offensive coordinator or a head coach, and he's like, I feel terrible for these quarterbacks nowadays. And it kind of sounded like it was going to be an older coach. Like, you used to just get years. And I think it kind of encompasses most players now, but like the 5th overall pick, at minimum, you would get 4 years, which you could argue for fans, like, why do I want to watch Tua if he just stinks? Now, there are players historically that do come out of it. Alex Smith is a good example. But most teams are – I don't know if there'll ever be quite an Alex Smith situation ever again. Just the pressure and the money and these GMs now also pivot fast. There's a lot of young GMs that will, like, trade and wheel and deal. But it's pretty crazy that Tua – it feels like legitimately he's fighting for his job. And I'll tell you this, if he plays shitty week 1, I think it'll be one of the biggest stories in the league. If like Mac outplays him and it's just like Tua stinks.
I started thinking today about how many teams in the league are must-see, and there's a lot of them. And Miami's on that list because of him. Now, they're also on the list because they're supposed to be good. But they're on the list. Part of the NFL's advantage over so many other things is that they don't have to spend money or time making Tua Tagovailoa a star before he shows up in the league. So he shows up in the league as a star, and everybody has a take on Tua. He played at Alabama. Look at this guy. And that makes the light so white hot before you've done anything in the league, right? And then here's the other thing. This guy you're talking about has got all this heat on him. Came in the league on an injured hip. Wasn't even healthy to start the season last year. And then his backup quarterback, they weren't supposed to be good, but then they turned out to be good. The backup turns out is this guy who's like one of the great, not a backup, but not a like playoff starter quarterbacks in the history of the league, Fitzpatrick. Right?
I mean, he's got magic in his nickname. I mean, his nickname's Fitzmagic.
I am
that's
pro
a little sarcastic, but it's also
yeah, exactly. Part of it is like it's not like if anyone should have the nickname, it's Mahomes should be like Magic Johnson, like one of those guys. But that's part of the fun of it is like you do get enough of it from him that it works. So that was his backup, right? Not somebody who's just you're going to play and you're just going to play and you're going to play. There were so many factors, I think, for him last year that they were better than they were supposed to be, and then all of a sudden all their games mattered. It was like, well, what do we do now?
Well, can I give you a little, producer in the back room? Make a little video out of this bad boy. I'll give you a destination if things go well for Jimmy next year and if things go poorly for this guy. Why wouldn't Jimmy Garoppolo, he comes from New England, Brian Flores was around him, they probably wouldn't cut Tua, let's say the season doesn't go well, but they'd immediately try to bring in someone that could potentially beat him out.
Use the link in this video to sign up, get in the Haberman and Middlecoff DraftKings League, get in our game this week for the FedEx Cup Championship, and get ready to play an awesome football season with us on DraftKings. When you go to butcherbox.com/ham, you get 3 pounds of chicken breast, 2 pounds of burgers, 1 pound of hot dog for free right now. New members get the special deal when you sign up at butcherbox.com/ham.
If you're Jimmy, Why wouldn't you? They're going to have money because Tua doesn't make that much money. Why wouldn't Jimmy Garoppolo, because he's not going to be on the Niners next year, I wouldn't touch the Texans with a 50-foot pole. New England now is Mac at minimum is going to get a couple years. Wouldn't Miami be a place where he could resurrect his career and become a starter for a couple years? Knows the division. They have offensive weapons. He knows the head coach. Like, I actually think if I'm Jimmy, Jimmy would crush it in Miami.
Is there tanner than tan?
I got that bad boy circled for him.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What do you think?
They're gonna. Well, my first reaction is I hate doing any of this to Tua unless you're really upgrading, right? If you're the Cardinals and you want to move off of Rosen, okay, you're going to move off of Rosen because you got the number 1 pick in the draft. You're going to draft Kyler Murray. But if you're going to just there's a chance we come out of this year and you go, I don't think Tua's got it. But is he going to look so bad that you're just completely giving up on him after a year?
No, where I'm saying is you bring him in, basically go. Let's say they go 7-10 this year. And it goes, God. And Mac's looking good. Trey's making some plays. Fields gets in. It's clear like these other guys are just better players. Like just the whole crop. Herbert, Burrow comes back. If you had to rank the guys this year and the 2 guys last year and Tua, if Tua's at the bottom of that list for like every fan, you bring in, because you probably couldn't trade him. You're kind of stuck with him for a minimum another year before you could like cut him. I don't even know if you'd cut him. I mean, he'd still be serviceable. You bring in Jimmy at like $15 million, but incentives to hit it to like high 20s because I don't know who's going to really pay Jimmy. And Jimmy goes, I can just beat this guy out and then be the starter on a good team, Tannehill style, and then be a starter for a couple years.
Yeah,
and sign another
I think
contract.
That'd be a mess, but it's a realistic mess.
But if they went 7-10 with Tua,
they'd be looking
like they're not just bringing Tua back, right?
I mean, they are, but they got to find something else.
Yeah, we got a lot of quarterbacks.
Maybe by then,
I think.
I would say by then, Deshaun.
Yeah, it could be Deshaun Watson. Jimmy has to hope that Deshaun does not go there, because that would be a good spot for him with talent. I mean, they drafted Waddle. They have skill guys. Gesicki, I like Gesicki. I might take him week 1.